I've never seen lack of fish that came into all the tributaries last year.
At a dam, snag it, take it up to their truck, come back down, snag another one.
The Bay of Green Bay needs help. What the Sam heck? Holy man, it's been a while since we've done a podcast, but I wonder who's behind the... Is that a mask? Guess who's back? Hunter Flanders. Hunter, what's happening? Annie, you're scared to live in snot on Annie. She doesn't even want to. She doesn't even want to look at you, right? She's afraid.
She's just like she's looking away from me.
Now she's looking back.
That is a death stare from Annie.
She's like, I don't know if I trust this guy. Hey, everybody, welcome back to We Eat Fish Eat. Annie, do not lick me in the mouth. God darn it, I haven't known you that long, right? That's disgusting, right? No, I always wonder, and I'm such a dog lover. Why do we always let these dogs lick us in the face, right?
Yeah,
because they're licking their butts. They're eating crap off the ground.
Arlo eats rabbit poop on the daily. Yeah,
like they're tricks. Tricks are for kids, right?
Yeah.
Little rabbit poop. Well, I guess whatever, But I'll tell you what, when it comes to loving something, man, I don't know.
Dogs are great.
How do you not love a dog, right?
Yeah.
I always look at people like they're not dog people. I'm like, I'm a little bit suspicious.
Yeah. If they don't like dogs, if they only have cats, that's the real red flag.
Right.
I think that guy who was in here earlier only had cats.
Right. Yeah, we were doing a little interviewing today, and Hunter, Annie.
Annie, can you get any closer?
Right, she can't. She's like, I gotta let her down. Oh, God.
Hold on, she's wrapped around the microphone.
It's crazy. Come on. So
one thing that I wanted to talk about today that I think I'm going to open up an absolute can of worms on this.
You're not going to talk about CWD, are you?
No. That's
because we're going to do a podcast on CWD.
Yes, we will get to that.
I just want to say this about CWD. I'm just going to bring this little thing up.
You can't resist, can you?
It's all bullshit, folks.
Yep.
Don't suck yourself into that CWD bullshit. There's no way that you can tell me that it's real. I used to raise deer, used to raise elk. I'm a huge deer guy. CWD is bullshit. That's all I'm going to say on this podcast.
Until the next one.
Right.
What I wanted to open up the can of worms on is this drama on the Bay of Green Bay. I wouldn't call it drama. We can call it drama. I want to talk about the limits, the amount of fish, the spawning habitat on the Bay of Green Bay, because it is really getting a lot more buzz.
I had no idea that you were going to bring this up.
Yeah,
but that's kind of a sore subject. It's a whole different deal when you really care about things, right? Like I don't care about having my freezer full of fish. No. I really don't, right?
Even though you do eat a lot of fish.
I actually don't eat a lot of fish.
Well, got the deep fry right here. We got to bring it back.
In the last couple of years, I bet you I have cooked fish at home maybe twice. That's it. I went out to eat last night and I had fish. That's usually when I have fish. As a guide, I typically don't keep my limits with my clients or I give them to my clients.
Dude, I feel ashamed of myself if I order fish out to eat. I'm not going to lie.
Really?
I feel that way.
I like
We're
to
going out to eat
to
after the
fish.
podcast and I will not order fish.
Really? That's crazy. So let's talk about the Bay of Green Bay.
Well,
I was just talking to a guy and I got to call him
That's why
back.
I heard that. So remind me of that. But we talked about, we're like, hey, maybe we'll do another podcast and we want to talk about, CWD, some other things, but people need to bring the attention to it. And, me and Larry had many conversations about this or that on how to bring more awareness. And really what it comes down to, things need to be talked about. And Larry has a platform to talk about things and he can give his opinion on it. But realistically, it comes from everybody listening out there and watching, because the more that everybody talks and the more that everyone opens their eyes maybe and listens, and we're not saying we're right. It's just our opinion of what, we see, but things need to get talked about. Some things need to get talked about. It can't get swept under the rug, and Larry's got a platform to do it. So today we're going to talk about the walleyes in Green Bay.
Right. Well, for I just got done talking to a guy that is kind of on the same page that I'm on and has done a bunch of research on it. And I did not know that they figure about 100,000 walleyes a year come off the Bay of Green Bay.
That's crazy.
This was the amazing part. 50% of them walleyes come off the bay in spring. This is all by Creo census. Come off the bay by spring.
What do you mean? What is that?
Like spring when it's a one fish limit.
What?
Yes. That many fish are taken out of the tributaries which mind boggles me that there's that many. I see all the people, but it mind boggles me that that many fish come. I still have a hard time believing it. But that's what I'm told. That's crazy.
That's insane. And so, you would probably just guess that one fish is probably a mature reproducing female.
Oh, that's why she's there, right? Yeah, definitely about that. Yeah, I've seen it number of times, and I don't blame anybody for.
It's legal. You can keep your fish.
Yeah, right. For going in the spring and catching a fish. I don't care if it's how big it is and keeping it. Again, it's one of them kind of things where they're not breaking the law. So really, it's all up to the Department of Natural Resources
regulations
to set the right regulations, right? So here's a couple things I'd like to talk about.
Let's start with number one. Go.
Number one is in the spring in the tributaries. Let's just talk about the Peshtigo. Let's talk about the Ocano, and let's talk about the Menominee. Now, there's only 1 or 2 game wardens in that whole area, and they have to patrol everything. And it's very tough to do.
Right.
And I've seen it many a times. I know plenty of other people that have seen it, that a lot of fish are snagged and there are multiple fish being caught by one person and taken to their vehicle and then taken away.
Or they come back down and grab another one.
Or they come back down. So, and it's really tough, again, when you only have one game warden watching that whole area, right? Or 2 at the very most. Why not in the spring? Why not in the spring like they do for sturgeon spearing? They do up in Shiocton a lot of times when the sturgeon are up there spawning, and other events that there's a lot of people concentrated.
Right.
Why not bring game wardens in from another area to help these guys out there?
100%.
Number 2 is I do not want to take away from the shore guys at all, but why not back that up a little bit, 100 yards or 200 yards?
Give them more room to spawn.
Give them a little bit more room to spawn. Okay, I'm not taking away. I know you guys are going to come down on me. Well, I don't have a $100,000 boat. Totally understand that. I'm just saying, why not give them fish a little bit more room? Number 3 is, why did Walleyes for Tomorrow, did the DNR ever have Walleyes for Tomorrow stop taking and stripping fish in the tributaries and in the Fox River? The Fox River is no doubt the number 1 area for spawning for the majority of the walleyes in the Bay of Green Bay, right? I mean, maybe the other 3 or 4, because you do have the Pensackie. Some fish go up the Pensackie River, but it's basically the Ocano, Peshtigo, and the Menominee. So them probably, I would say, maybe less than 0.5% go in them other 4 tributaries, right? So why not have, and I feel that's really what got Green Bay going in the first place,
right?
Was Walleyes for Tomorrow coming in with the walleye wagon, stripping the fish, hatching the spawn, and letting that
Let them go.
Because here's the big thing. I know there's going to be people who are going to say that I'm wrong, but I'm just going to tell you this. So in the beginning of my guiding career, I spent a lot of time, like I would say 30 to 40 days guiding on the Fox River into Pier, where there was nobody around. I was down by the bridges. I was all in that whole area, not up by the dam. I was in shallow water, sight fishing a lot. I never saw a whitefish. Now the whitefish are so prolific in that they're crazy. And the main reason they're there is because they're eating
walleye spawn.
That walleye spawn. So, and then the other part is you think about, like, I remember in the heydays of Green Bay, out on the lake, there was very few people out there. Then all of a sudden now, like, it's an explosion the last 10, 15 years of people.
Insane.
So you think about the amount of fish that have gotten pulled out of there. So I guess the other part is the whole state pretty much, besides the Mississippi River, is a 3-fish limit. Why not just make it, especially the Bay of Green Bay, why not go to a 3-fish limit? Because the fish you're catching out there are typically on the small end, 18 inches, on the large
100%.
end, or 26 inches, right? So why not just go to a 3-fish limit out there? Because I always say, like, I can go to Winnebago and have 4 guys and we keep a dozen fish, and there'll be one really good bag of fish. You go to the Bay of Green Bay and you keep if you kept the same amount of fish there, 12 fish.
Triple, double.
Oh, my gosh. And that's cleaning them the right way.
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
We went up to the bay with Austin, and we caught 4 fish. And I was kind of a little disappointed because Austin doesn't keep fish very much. And I had not fished the bay yet this summer, so I wanted to catch a limit of walleyes. That was kind of my goal. And then, so we kept 4. I was a little disappointed at the end of the day. Came home and cleaned them, and every single time it happens, I go, dude, look at all the fish here. Like, he had more than enough for 3 or 4 fish fries with 4 walleyes that were between
that's what
18 to like 23 inches.
Right. So I don't know why. I know nobody likes changes. I don't like changes either. But I don't know, like, I did a post a while back talking about this. And there was a lot of great comments on there, a lot of positive stuff. But boy, there was some negative people on there, like absolutely, like I was trying to take away their dog from them, right?
Well, dude,
it was crazy.
No different than when they changed Winnebago from 5 to 3. Gripe, everyone's mad,
not going to fish it ever again. No,
you're wrecking it, blah, blah,
blah.
The
economy's going to fall around the lake.
The forage is going to fall. There's going to be too many walleyes. And look, it's completely fine. Everyone's fine.
It actually made it a better fishery.
100%.
Sure, right.
So like Larry said, why not? Worth a change. You know, when I think about De Pere, I did a post on, remember this one about having a replica made, Mountain Fish this year? People absolutely came unglued on Green Bay Walleye Junkies or Green Bay Junkies because of this post. I said, hey, you know, if you catch a fish this year, I got this replica done. Some people didn't like it. Well, it's not your replica anyway. But the quality of replicas have become really good. Throw the fish back. Let somebody else catch it. Just something to think about. Legally, you can keep a fish if it's a legal size. I do not care, but just want you to think about it, you know, because it is a great feeling.
Oh my gosh, it's going to cost you a couple $100 more.
Oh yeah, but dude, like you think about, you rarely catch a fish in De Pere. You don't fish as much anymore. Like you don't see.
I hardly ever go there.
Okay, so the Fox River is the majority of where all the walleyes in Green Bay spawn.
At least half. Right?
So thousands and thousands and thousands. How many times do you see a picture or a post or hear somebody catching a 30+ inch walleye in there?
It doesn't happen a lot anymore.
And why is that, Larry?
Because them fish never make it.
Yeah, they're getting pulled out at 28.
Right. Yeah,
and getting the old knife.
That's a fact.
That's the only thing that makes sense. You can go up to, and it's not like it was, you can go to Peshigo, Menominee, Ocano. Your odds of catching a 30-inch fish plus are way better up there. Even though a smaller percentage of fish are in there.
Right.
Even
that's nothing like it used to
100%.
be. Right. I used to always say, because I've been doing it a long time, I hate to be that guy, right, that says this. I really hate to be the guy.
It ages yourself,
Yeah,
Larry.
it does. And I hate to be that guy, but I've been doing that whole area way before hardly anybody was even around.
How many years have you been fishing up there?
Over 20, right? And I know people are going to be saying, I've been there 25 years. Well, I never saw you first, so I don't know where you were, right?
He was wearing glasses.
Right,
yeah.
But on the Peshigo and that whole area, right, a long time. But, I mean, it is, to get a 30-inch fish, and I'm talking about fishing at night now, that's typically one of the bigger ones you have that opportunity. To get a 30-inch fish, I think last year, out of all the guide trips and all the trips I did up there, and we're up there for over a month. I think
every day.
We had 5.
Think
over
about
30.
that.
That's
every single day pounding it, dark to dark. For
and
the most
knowing
part,
a little
doubles.
bit about it, right?
Yes,
knowing a little bit about what goes on and how
you've caught 5 30 inches. That's terrible.
I never seen the last 2 years, you guys. I'm not just saying this trying to push my agenda at all. I've never seen the lack of fish that came into all the tributaries last year, and I've. You know,
out there a long time.
With electronics that you have nowadays, and I do a lot of visual stuff, I cannot believe that how low the density of fish coming into the tributaries has been the last couple of years. That's what makes me think that, like, the fish just are not there.
Yeah.
The numbers are down. And we have not had a good hatch since, I think, 18. Right?
When the waters were high.
I think that was the last really good hatch
We've had low water the last
You just
couple
don't
years.
catch hardly any fish that are under 15 inches. And it's hard to catch any fish that are under 18 inches, right?
Honestly,
you just don't see them. In a system like Green Bay, with the amount of technology that's out there and the amount of people that are fishing it nowadays, did they go somewhere else? I have no idea because of the forage or what. But I just think it's this, like, common sense to know that fishery has been hit hard. and a lot of fish have been taken out of there and not replaced back in. And here's, I know that, and Walleyes for Tomorrow has donated a bunch of money to the DNR, and they've tagged all these fish, and they're doing a 3-year study. But I really don't agree with that, right? I don't disagree with it, but and God bless Walleyes for Tomorrow, because of all the organizations when it comes to walleye fishing, they have done by far more than anybody has ever done for our fisheries than them. But I just think myself, the DNR is trying to buy some time, and it's definitely, I think, a major mistake on that right there, right?
Well, I think, you see a lot of people gripe, they blame the guides, they blame this or that. I mean, everyone wants to point fingers and blame. You think about, certainly there are guides out there who catching their limit, who are making double runs. There is shicey stuff going on all the time from everybody, people getting their limit, going back out. But I think it's, open your eyes and just see what's happening. Like, you start thinking about the numbers, like Larry's saying, you start hearing from guides who make their livelihood off the resource. They don't want to abuse it either. A majority of the good ones don't.
Right. And I always say this, here's the problem with the world, the country, whatever. Everybody wants to put the blame on one thing. And when you look at the overall picture on 90% of the things that happen, it's typically a number of things that happen.
Yeah, it's a lot of little things that add up.
Right, that add up. And so, to me, obviously the whitefish are one thing that has really impacted the bay. The other part is obviously fishermen. The technology is the other part. It's just, there's a lot of different things that happen. But the thing is, why not work on something? Why are we always waiting? Like, why not just use a little bit of common sense?
To see what's coming.
Well, why not just use a little bit of common sense and say, hey, yeah, you know what? 15 years ago, there was, X amount of people fishing the Bay of Green Bay. There was this many walleyes coming off the Bay of Green Bay. And now there's this many people fishing the Bay of Green Bay. And technology is advanced greatly. The way the boats are designed, the trolling motors, the electronics, the
got
clothes,
top notch,
yeah, everything. It's just made people better at the information that's out there. It's not the deal anymore that, the old saying used to be, 10% of the fishermen catch 90% of the fish.
That's not that anymore.
That's not the case anymore, right? People have become so good at fishing because of all these things that obviously it's taken a toll on the system. And so why not just get out there and start making changes right away and helping the resource out? That's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, to me, it's like, why does it always take for it to get to the rock bottom? And then, let's make changes. Like, we can foresee what's coming, what's happening. We see the downward trend. Let's make the change now. Let's not wait till it's at the bottom of the valley at rock bottom. Oh, now we have hardly anything left. Now let's make changes. No, let's hit it now and fix it before it gets way worse.
Right. Well, the problem is this. I'm just going to tell you guys this. When it comes to the Department of Natural Resources, they're understaffed big time. Like, the people that are out in the field, they are definitely understaffed. I mean, I always say this, that the people out in the field, they really have the passion. Because I say that, and it's so true, because when you look at the biologists and the techs and all the people that are out there doing the work, is that they get paid squat. Yeah. I don't know why anybody besides having the passion for the outdoors would ever go to school to work for the DNR, right? Because there is no money in it at all. And it's hard to get a job there.
Yeah,
it's really
like
tough
you said,
to
it's
get
about
a
the
job
passion.
there.
You care about the resources.
So I think that these people are or they're overworked and underpaid for sure. So, and I think that they know trying to implement these different changes is a grind.
It's going to make more work.
Yeah, and I just don't think they have time to deal with it. And it's the people in the upper management. And unless you get the public out there, it's screaming, which helps out the biologist. Unless you get these people out there screaming that, hey, we want our fishery changed, we want these changes, nothing at all will happen. Well, nothing at all.
Like, I was thinking this last year, like, why we're having this podcast and talking about this is like, ultimately it comes down to the people. Like you said, the people in working for the DNR, they're understaffed, underpaid. There's not enough of them to hit all these spots up and to watch and check this landing and over here and there. It comes down to the people. You see somebody doing something wrong, say something to them.
Right.
I'm going
to tell you a story. I'll tell you a story. This is a great story. So I was on Butamore. This is about 10 years ago. I'm guiding some people. I'm off of Sunset, which is a very popular place to fish, and off of there. And it was a tough day. And I'm down to my last resource, and I got to go to Sunset. So I go to Sunset. I'm in tight to shore, and we're pulling spinners, over the side of the boat. And we caught one or two walleyes. And I look out towards the west edge of Sunset. There's a guy out there, and I see him net one. Okay. And then I kind of just was keeping an eye on it. I see him net two. And anyway, so I kind of go over. I don't want to get real close to him, but I'm pretty close to him. He catches another one. I see him lift his stringer up. I'll never forget this as long as I live. Lift his stringer up. There's like 9 or 10 walleyes on there. Now I'm trying to get in close enough because he's just in like a 16-foot regular boat. And I'm trying to get close enough to see if somebody's laying on the floor.
Yeah, and
I could see it. There was nobody else in there. He catches another one. Now he's got 10 on the stringer. He's got a stringer too, right? Nobody uses a stringer anymore. He's got 10 on a stringer. And I said to him, and we started catching a few because we got close to him, right? And I said to him, hey, the limit's only, this is back when it was 5. I said, the limit's only 5, right? He goes, what the F is it to you? And I kind of looked at him. I kind of looked.
Annie, move your butt.
I thought, Annie, get down. I thought to myself, you're right. What is it to me? I'm not the game warden, right? But, and I never did call him in. Well, I'm not that kind of guy, right? But I just thought to myself, holy man, right? This guy's got 10 walleyes on the stringer, not trying to hide anything.
Right, he's not even hiding it.
So, right, that's my story.
You just think about how many people there are like out there doing that kind of stuff, though. That's what I'm thinking about. And like as I said, I think if it comes down to it, if the government is not helping the resource and they're understaffed, if they're not doing it at the end of the day, black and white, if they're not able to do it, it comes down to the people. That's why we live in America. We have the rights and we can say whatever we want.
Right.
You see some guy doing something bad, something wrong, something illegal, say something to him.
Yeah, I'm on a fine line on that part.
I don't know.
Because
You're in a different position than I am.
Yeah, I don't like to say anything to anybody anymore just because, you know what, it's not my job, more or less, unless you're hurting somebody or doing something like that. You're hurting a kid or hurting a dog or hurting a woman, then it's a whole different story.
I think it comes to levels, right? Like something that's not super serious, whatever, mind your own business. But like
I've had some
we're talking about guys who catch a large fish, 28 plus fish at a dam, snag it, take it up to their truck, come back down, snag another one, take it up their truck. Somebody needs to say something.
Well, I think that here again, it goes back to this. It goes back to the people that are responsible or the Department of Natural Resources.
Well,
right?
they're not doing it.
Well,
so
I know
what
that's what
do?
I'm saying. Well, they need to, if they care about the system, they need to change some things, and they need to get some more people involved in it. So to help these guys out in the spring, because it's a really short window too, right? I mean, the fish are up there maybe
a month.
I'm going to say 2 weeks.
Heavy.
Where they're heavy, where they're right up there, they're getting things done, and they don't stay there long. They're out of there, right? Once they spawn, they're not used to that shallow water. They come back.
Well, dude, there's volunteers who work during sturgeon spawning. Volunteers,
that would be a great thing.
Right?
If
they just watch. I mean, that is a thing I think it's run by the DNR, is it, or is it run by something else?
I forget how that all goes.
But you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, most
volunteers
of the people
who just watch the shoreline to make sure nobody's messing with the fish. Why don't we have things like that for the walleye?
That would be wise.
A huge resource for the bay.
Right. You can't just have 1 or 2 guys, though, because you're going to get taken by. There's groups of guys that come there, and they team together, and they reap them fish like no tomorrow. It's crazy, right? It's a system they have. They know. They're just like anything. People know how to work the system.
Right. Would you say that walleye are the most important fish on the bay to the economy and to the
I don't want to say that at all because I think all the fish are important.
Well, yes,
really
but
do.
I'm saying in terms of the economy,
Well, economics for sure. I mean, the walleye for sure is, you know, in the lower bay, the most sought after. You know, then it would be obviously, you know, perch and then muskies. I mean, there's a lot of revenue that's brought in from the walleye fishermen, right?
Millions.
When you look at in the spring, especially.
Multi.
No, I've seen that really the last couple springs kind of, you know, as far as the amount of people up there kind of really taper down, you know. You don't see as many people from Minnesota anymore coming in. And again, just because the fishing has not been tremendous like it was, right? So I don't know. I'm just giving you guys my 2 cents of a guy that spends his life, and I don't know it all either, but I'm just spent his whole life on the water and really kind of cares about the fishery because the big part is that, you know, the stronger you can keep the fisheries, the more people that are going to want to fish it, the more enthusiasm, the more chances of getting younger people involved in the outdoors. Just keep everything going. That's the main thing. And then all the secondary things, the revenue, all that kind of things to keep things going. It's just, that the Bay of Green Bay needs help. And I don't know how anybody can say that it doesn't. And the other part is, I don't know why you'd want to wait. You know, it's kind of like I look at the Bay of Green Bay, maybe not in this dramatic of a statement, but I look at the Bay of Green Bay as like you got a little bitty fire started next to your house and it's starting to crawl up the siding. Why would you wait till it catches the whole side of your house before you go get the garden hose or call the fire department?
Right.
Why not just stomp it out and
right now
and get onto something else? So why not just start taking care of some of the problems that the Bay has? Why not get Walleyes for Tomorrow back involved with stripping some of the fish and hatching out them eggs and putting them fish back into the system, the fry back in there? And why not just take it to a 3-fish limit, you know? So I know the 3-fish limit thing and the slot limit or anything like that, that takes a lot of people really raising cane to get that done because there's so much politics involved in that. But the part that wouldn't take any effort at all would, 2 things, I don't think. The main thing is to get Walleyes for Tomorrow back involved with taking care of that fishery, just because these guys are so good. They're so passionate. They do such a great job. I tell you, if you ever want to, and they're not a sponsor, I'm not tied in with Walleyes for Tomorrow, but if you ever want to donate some money for a great cause, is definitely Walleyes for Tomorrow.
100%. Yeah.
If you're a huge walleye guy and you love walleyes, man,
it's cool. Well, I mean, like they need volunteers in spring when they're doing this kind of stuff on other lakes and other bodies of water. Volunteer, spend a day with them, and you'll see how much impact they have. And people argue,
they need money too. They need money to keep things going.
Like especially if you live on any of the systems or fish any of the systems that they do this on. Donate some money to it.
Right, go to their banquets, to their stuff, do the stuff. But you know what? I'm not a big banquet guy for the most part.
Even though you win all the guns.
Right, yeah, right. But why would you even say that? Isaac's the one that wins.
Yeah, that's true. Isaac and the prince.
And the prince, right. But the part is that just write them a check and send them a donation, man. That's just that easy. If you care about the fisheries and stuff like that, it's a great way. If you got some extra cash, send it to them. You know?
Yeah, 100%. I just wanted to come on today and stir the pot. Maybe I'll leave again for 2 years.
Right. Don't go so long. Okay. I'll tell you that. Hey, everybody, we appreciate you watching this week's podcast here at We Eat Fish Eat. Hunter Flanders,
Larry.
my friend, always been a pleasure. I'm waiting for the next child to come. Don't wait to go on the podcast till you have another child.
Okay,
Let's just put it that way, right? Hey, everybody, if you love the podcast, make sure you guys check out the show, but make sure you guys comment. I love to hear your comments.
Yeah, we want to hear what you think about all this stuff.
That's what it's really about, so just email us here at LarrySmithOutdoors@gmail.com, and we want to hear what you got to say. God bless.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.